One of the most important resources in the world to humans is water. Moist water, or as Englishmen call it, water. After it quenches a person's thirst, water is used in other ways such as to clean a person's dirty, greasy gamer body. Oh wait, gamers don't spend time to have an immaculate epidermis? So today's video is going to be about how evolved monkey lizards clean themselves in their natural habitats. In hotter regions of the world, this includes mostly of Asia and some parts of Europe, bathing becomes more of a necessity than a desire. I'll only be talking about mainly Afro-Eurasia because those are the only places developed enough to have some sort of bathing culture. Bathing is more important in warmer climates because humans tend to have more wetness in these areas than cooler areas. Because of this, personal hygiene becomes a real problem. The real reason that ancient men and women decided to bathe in these hotter climates was either because they couldn't stand each other's stench, or that people who didn't bathe were dropping dead left and right because germs weren't discovered yet. Asian countries such as China, Japan, and Indonesia have had a long history of having public baths. China in the Zhou dynasty had a book called the Book of Rites, which prescribed that people should take a hot bath every 5 days and wash their hair every 3 days. Apparently, the book also said that it was good manner to take a bath when going to someone else's house for dinner. This bath, which of course is obviously provided by the host of the house. So, remember, if you ever find yourself in an Asian household about to eat dinner, make sure you cleanse yourself in an hour-long bathing session before you eat dinner. And don't worry about if they're Chinese or not, they're all interchangeable. In the Henan province, something called bath beans were a common laver for showers and baths. The common folk used these beans, which was often made with a powdery soap containing special ground beans which acted as a cleaning agent. The rich, however, had luxury beans made out of cloves, eaglewood, flowers, and if you're really wealthy, powdered jade. This is today's equivalent to dumping a few bottles of Chanel No. 5 into a bath. Common services in bathhouses other than, well, bathing, begins with the normal ones like massages, manicures, a rub-down service, and beverages. The weird one that I found was something called ear cleaning. I wonder how they did it before the invention of Q-tips. In Indonesia, bathing culture is always public, as in riverbanks, lakes, or water springs. Usually, when they bathe, they also wash their laundry. However, probably due to pervy old men, most of these public places are segregated by sex. Even with this, bathing naked is still frowned upon. So, many people use a cane jargon, which is like a bigger kitchen towel that you use to wrap around your genitals. I guess the soap dropping rule still applies even though the water level is around your waist. Some of the bathing area with more privacy have weaved bamboo partitions which are spaced for individual bathing. The Japanese, unlike the Indonesianese, are more accepting of their own flat chests and microscopic genital sizes. And this is the point where all my Japanese demographics stop watching. Most bathhouses in Japan began as a misogi, which means a ritual purification with water, so the white man's bathism. Religion was the basis for Japanese bathing culture. When Buddhism came into Japan, many Buddhist temples started having saunas, which were free for anyone to use. Since Japan is a volcanic hot mess, there are a lot of natural hot springs with healing minerals to them. This continued to increase the popularity of Japanese bathhouses, which were called onsen. Most of these places had sexually mixed groups as opposed to Indonesia until the 19th century, when white influence made gendered bathhouses more popular. White and Muslim regions. In ancient Europe, most regions did not adopt a bathing culture because people used perfumes instead of water after a hot and sweaty night of labor. A few places, like ancient Greece, the Roman Empire, and colder regions, such as Mother Russia and Finland, did adopt bathhouses for personal smellies and stinkies. For some reason, bathing books are popular in ancient times, so the Book of Bath was written in ancient Greece, which said that bathing was an art of cleansing sand, hot water, and hot air. The last one was not implying farting in the hot tub, but instead there was vaulted vapor baths which probably had steam pumped into them. They were then plunged into a cooling pool and rubbed down with aromatic oils. I'm not making this up. This description was included in the book. Quote, young ephebes stood and splashed water all over their bodies, end quote. Kinda sounded like they were having a water gun fight. Next, we have the Roman Empire, which loved their bathhouses. They had a bathhouse called the Bath of Diocletian, which covers an area of 1.5 million square feet. It was made out of granite and porphyry. It could hold up to 3,000 bathers a day. It was like a modern water park, but the function was a communal bath. It features different pools, game rooms, gardens, and even libraries and theaters. Bathing was condensed into a social event in the Roman Empire, kinda like a bar, but with everyone nude, so this would be disadvantageous to men because women could see their true intentions with a glance. In the Islamic world, just like Europe, use fragrances from perfumed wood that they would light and smoke themselves to act as perfumes. The main type of bath that they had would be the Turkish baths. They would be beaten with the leaves of an olive tree in order to be massaged into submission. They had a sequence of rooms similar to that of Roman baths. This included an undressing room, a cold, warm, and hot room. They also had smoke and hot air coming out of the vents from the floor. Africa and Australia. Bathing in Africa. This section would have been the longest since this region checks all the qualifications for a bathing continent. Hot climate, humid, and dense jungles, which means diseases. The only thing that makes it would've is this simple reason. Good luck finding saltless water. Bathing in Australia. Like Africa, most of this place is a desert, and the places with fresh water are populated by 10-foot kangaroos. Oh yeah, also, how are you going to take a bath when everything's upside down? Present practices for bathing. Bathing a baby, usually done in a kitchen sink or a large plastic bowl, is usually an easy process, but it could become difficult or even dangerous if done wrong. First, if you bathe an infant too much, it might cause them to have asthma, or in God's eyes, a weak human. This would eventually lead to the kid being bullied by me. In the modern Western world, it is socially expected that people bathe or take a shower about once a day. Normal people nowadays will only take a bath on special occasions. Most days they will just take a shower, which is basically just domesticated rain. Usually, these showers last about 10 to 15 minutes, but if other people are waiting to use the bathroom, they can take up to an hour. Most showers nowadays are taken alone, unless you're lonely. In that case, invite a few friends over. There are still a few places where it's socially acceptable for people to bathe communally, like locker rooms or pro-Trump boat parades, but it's not that common anymore. So, if a stranger asks you to hop in a shower with them, they must really like history. Or you